Hi, welcome to 4 Minutes of Film with me, Rhianna. Less about the reviews this week and all about the big movie stars. I spoke to Christina Hendricks of Mad Men fame about her latest film, God's Pocket. But first, let's see what happened when I caught up with all 4 of the Inbetweeners at the same time to talk about their latest film, Inbetweeners 2. In a group of mates, someone always gets bullied. Obviously in the Inbetweeners, it's Will. But out of you guys, who is it?
It's Blake.
Oh, well, that's straight up. Basically, for the first 3 years, it was Joe, and then it basically got passed on to me. I'm kind of hoping that I'm served my time after this.
Who are you passing it on to next?
Well, I don't think I'll be allowed to pass it on to anyone. I think this is mine. I'll take it to my grave. It'll be an early grave if. Yeah.
Hopefully. Yeah. Fingers crossed. I hope so. We want you to die.
Nice.
We don't like you.
I'm crying inside.
I know, I'm really bad for you now, sorry.
Don't feel bad for him.
Okay. Out of all these other famous foursome films, which would you want to remake the most and who would be who? So I'm giving you options of The Hangover, The Three Musketeers, Anchorman or The Wizard of Oz. Okay. Which of those films would you remake?
Wizard of Oz, obviously.
And who would be who?
Okay. Well, if we're going with characters, I think I'd be Scarecrow, wouldn't I? No brain.
Yeah. I'd be the lion, I think.
Yeah.
Cowardly Lion. So who would be Dorothy?
Dorothy, definitely. And Tin Man.
Who's left? Tin Man.
Tin Man.
He
No heart. No heart. That's more like,
isn't it?
That's more like Joe the person than Simon the character.
He wants a heart.
He's looking for love, but he doesn't have it.
Our 4 favourite awkward boys are off to Australia and they have to face all their usual predicaments, trying to get off with girls who aren't interested, showing off their genitalia, and Neil's poo problems are worse than usual. They've definitely had to step it up, and I did have my misgivings. Do we care about the Inbetweeners anymore? The answer is a big fat yes. It's hilarious. So 5 stars. Next up, it's God's Pocket. This stars Philip Seymour Hoffman in one of his last roles as a man mixed up in a lot of dodgy dealings while his wife, Christina Hendricks, is trying to figure out the truth about her son's mysterious death. When I spoke to Christina, I asked her about Ryan Gosling's directorial debut, Lost River, in which she stars, and whether she's made a deal with him that he now has to star in a film that she directs.
Yes, I'm directing one right now starring Ryan Gosling. That would be so amazing.
That would be amazing.
If that was just always the deal. I actually don't have...
For everybody.
I don't, yeah, exactly. I don't really have aspirations to direct. I think producing would be quite interesting, and I think that would be something I'd be good at. But I don't want to direct. Don't want to do it.
Your husband acts as well. So what happens, you know, if you've both had a day of filming and you've both been doing really difficult, tough stuff, and you both come home? Is that? You're just like, oh my god, this is awful. Or
Sometimes
you're both in like a foul mood.
Like, oh, get away from me. No, I did say, you know, while I was doing God's Pocket, it was so emotional. It was so crazy. And my husband was doing a play up in Vermont. And I said, you know what? For this short amount of time, it's probably best you're up in Vermont because I am not pleasant right now. I wouldn't want to hang out with me. I'm mopey. I'm sad. I'm drained. I mean, you do have to feel those things. You have to go through those emotions. But I think more often than not, you're just so relieved at the end of the day that you're home and with your loved one and, you know, turn on some ridiculous, mind-numbing TV show and, you know, escape for a little bit.
God's Pocket is wonderfully acted and has a lot of dark humour running through it. It could have benefited from a lot more mystery and intrigue though, because as the audience, we find out everything that happens before the characters do. So all the events that unfold aren't nearly as interesting as they should be. It goes from slow-moving to a little bit dull. So 3 stars for God's Pocket. Next week, I'm interviewing Simon Pegg, Guy Pearce and Robert Pattinson. So click here to subscribe. You've got to catch it.